You're in Braves country.
On this date, 1922, a frail-looking Christy Mathewson, the Christian gentleman who served as class president in 1899, is elected as Bucknell's B Club's first president. The beloved future Hall of Famer, who would die prematurely in 1925 from tuberculosis after accidentally being gassed in a training exercise during World War I, played on the high school's football team as a place kicker and excelled as a pitcher on the baseball squad. On this date in 1966, Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale's refusal to report to spring training ends when the Hurlers agree to the Dodgers' offer of $235,000, signing for $130,000 and $105,000 respectively. The LA Stars' joint holdout lasts for 32 days, paving the way for other players to be more aggressive when negotiating with owners. And on this date in 1993, after 43 years, Peanuts character Charlie Brown finally hits a home run, a game-winning round tripper batting against his nemesis, Roy Ann Hobbs. Almost 10% of the nearly 18,000 Peanut comic strips created by Charles Schultz focused on baseball. And that's your Braves Country Radio on this date in baseball history. Find us on YouTube and Facebook today. Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes not corn, and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium, his record pure gold, his courage pure radium. H is for Hornsby. When pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a Cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, close to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of 2 X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent sigh. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there. These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Nash, January 1949, Sport Magazine. Good morning, Vietnam, as we are up against it tonight. And I saw a lot of the sentiments in the chat. I don't know if I would go through the whole full blown panic yet wanting to trade everyone, Jillian, but I understand where you're coming from. It's been a tough ride so far. I think everybody is just at wit's end. It'd be good to get a win, and no better night to get that than with Chris Sale on the bump. As we put the lineups up there, let me put my video just behind the lineup so y'all can see the whole lineup. We'll do the whole lineup here in a second. But with that being said, Braves are going up against a kid in Dustin May. If there's ever a game we're going to win on the road against the Dodgers, this is it. Now, the problem is the offense hasn't been doing a damn thing. And just like offense is contagious, a lack of offense is contagious. And I really just think we need a couple early base hits to go out there and move the line and get the pitching going for Chris Sale. Go out there and get him an early lead. But Dustin May, I was looking this up before the game, and we have not faced him since 2019. For some reason, I thought we had faced May in the. He's battled injuries quite a bit, and I've had him on fantasy baseball teams a lot, so that's how I'm always aware of him. He's usually sitting in my NA as he's or my IL as we're waiting for him to mend. And the guy's got electric stuff. I always affectionately call him Sideshow Bob, and you'll see why, because he's got big red hair that I guess tonight he's got it pulled back a little bit, but normally it pops out like Sideshow Bob, like a clown. But the kid's talented as hell. There's no doubt about that. But if there's ever a night you're going to take advantage of the fact that a kid is going to the mound for the first time since 2023, getting a start against, I don't care what anybody says, a talented Atlanta Braves lineup. You're not going to convince me that a lineup, even though we're missing Acuna, a lineup that has guys like Olsen and Ozuna and Harris and, for that matter, Austin Riley, and even some of the guys that may not be the household names that they are to us, I still think there's good value in the left-handed bats of Baldwin and Kelnick going up against this right-hander. And we've got Nick Allen in the lineup, and I think that's a plus. I don't think that should be slept on. I think he deserves more starts because Arcia, as good as he is his defense, maybe it's just my blind eye, but from what I see him this year, his range is really starting to go. And if he doesn't have what little bit of range that he did have, he's not bringing a lot to the table. He's really not, because though he's got a strong arm and he's very crafty with the glove, if he can't get to the damn ball at all, that's a huge problem. We always knew we were trading off range. We always knew that a guy like Dansby Swanson had much more range in his prime than Orlando Arcia, but you were okay with that to a degree defensively because he was usually right there to make the play, slick fielding shortstop. Well, now he's not getting to the ball, and that's a huge problem. He's still not a guy you're just going to cut. For people, I've seen people on X all the time talking about cutting. I'm like, dude, that guy's making $2 million a year. Do you understand how cheap that is to pay a starting shortstop, or even a guy who's going to be on your bench who can play short or second? You're not cutting him. He's very popular with the players in the dugout, no matter what the fans think. So they're not cutting him. Would they trade him to upgrade? It would be. They're not going to get 1-for-1. They're going to have to trade him and something to get something. But nonetheless, Allen is in the lineup tonight. He gives you usually professional at-bats. It's what we saw all spring. When he gets on, much better on the actual base paths. He's not as good a defensive shortstop as Arcia, but if you get a lead late in the game, you can put Arcia in there. But he's also not – He's not a guy that's going to kick the ball around either. He's a solid major league defensive shortstop. He's not someone that is a detriment when you put him in the lineup. So this is the night that we can get to him. This is the absolute night that we can get to the Dodgers. Because you got a guy, once again, he's got a career 3.1 ERA and a whip of 1.05. Very, very impressive. And with all that being said, he hasn't pitched since 2023. He hasn't really pitched consistently his entire career, but he's got good stuff. And once again, Freddie Freeman's not in the lineup, and the Dodgers are reporting that he is going to try to play Friday. So I figured we weren't going to see him tonight. I thought we might see him tomorrow night. I thought he'd get real healthy when he saw Elder was on the mound, but it looks like he's going to sit out the rest of the series. So when you have, and no slight to these guys, but when you have guys in the lineup, when you got Kike Hernandez at first and not Freddie Freeman, it's definitely an advantage. And I think Chris Sale's going to go out there and shove. He gave up a few runs in his first start. Just knowing Chris Sale and his competitiveness, I think he's going to go out there and be Cy Sale. I think that's what we need. And one thing I do want to touch upon that I don't think a lot of people have really talked about, remember when we signed Alex Verdugo just before the season started, we sent him to the minor leagues? That's a guy that can come up and play left field for the next 80 games and give you a professional at bat. And I think they got to get him in shape. So there's that going on. But Stu Fairchild comes to the roster today, but realize Alex Verdugo could be with the team in the next couple weeks. Sean Murphy is starting his rehab assignment this week down in Gwinnett. All that being said, the guys tonight are going to have to produce, and it's not a foregone conclusion is what I'm trying to say, that these guys are going to go out there and take care of a guy who hasn't pitched in 2 years coming off major injury, because we haven't seen it all year long. When I'm going through the lineups, I'm looking at the averages, like, my God, the only person hitting over 200 tonight is Nick Allen. He's only 1 for 4. So it's a very small sample size. With that being said, I think that the Braves are going to get on the board tonight with the win. I got to believe that, because I got to feel like last night they probably got hit with it blindsided on what happened with Profar. Tonight they get it right. It's time for Click to Pick.
Can you predict what will come in 100 years, or in 10, or in the next minute? Some people think they can. Nuclear scientists, mathematicians, astronomers, biologists, because they see beyond the known dimensions of time and space.
All right, pick to click. Give me Michael Harris. He's the only one that did anything yesterday. Give me Harris, and he's a left-handed bat. He's batting leadoff. Give me him to click tonight against Dustin May and the Braves to win 1-5. We'll take 5-2. I'm not going to go crazy, but I just got to believe these bats are not going to stay cold on the entire road trip. All right, let's get set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Braves.
Drink like me, you can't smoke like me. So don't try and be like me. Let's party together.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Rum and Cokes.
Do you have any idea how important this is? We're trying to save the pub cup. Really? This is what you're doing? This is what you're doing?
Baseball is a beautiful thing. It's more beautiful in an old park. It's asymmetrical and quirky. But even in a dome with artificial turf, it's beautiful. The way the field fans out, the choreography of the sport, the pace and rhythm of it, the fact that that pace and rhythm allows for conversation and reflection and opinion and comparison.
In right field, the crowd is tormenting Strawberries, singing, Darryl, Darryl. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win. And there's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. There
ball stabbed by Polk. He has it. He underhands to first for the first time in 86 years. The Red Sox have won baseball world championship. Can you believe it?
It's a pastime, something you do. It's entertainment, something you watch. And it's a shared experience, something you talk about and read about. But you can apply those same three criteria to other things. What makes baseball special is that it's the best game that's ever been devised.
Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. Cubs win. What a lucky break. The good Lord wants the Cubs to win.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry,
Braves fans are on their feet hoping for some kind of a bleeder or a seeing-eye single. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball hit high and deep down the right field line. It's going back, back, back. Is it fair? Is it zip, boom, bam, it's gone. Ram-a-lam, ding-dong, a 3-run shot, and your Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-run lead. She's gone, baby!
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America you get in a ballpark. And it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have. And the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Swung line drive left field. 1 run is in. Here comes Reed. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe.
You're in Braves country. If there's a bigger thing going on right now, I don't know what it is. We're down to 1 strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to Forrest. And here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We direct your attention now to home plate.
Please remain standing. We call your attention to our bands here today. They will be jointly directed. And now, another fixture. Our national anthem.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose white stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we once were so gallant.
this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce today's teams as participants in this historic game.
On a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live as the Braves are on the road, and we're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac McGee. Here's your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and patrolling center field for your Atlanta Braves, it's Michael Harris II. Money Mike is 3 for 19 with a home run and an RBI. Batting second, playing third, Austin Riley, 1 home run, 1 RBI, batting 111. Matt Olson, batting third, playing first. He's 2 for 14, a 143 clip. Batting cleanup for your Atlanta Braves, Marcell Ozuna, 2 for 12, 2 RBI, a 167 average. Ozzie Albies, batting fifth, playing second, 3 for 18, a home run, and 3 RBI. Drake Baldwin is behind home plate and batting .067 on the year, 1 for 15. Brian De La Cruz in left field, 0 for 5 on the season. And Jared Kelenic, 3 for 17, 1 home run, 1 RBI, batting 176. Nick Allen is in the lineup tonight for Orlando Arcia. He's 1 for 4, batting .250. That's a Tony Gwynn type clip compared to how the rest of the team has started. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, it's Chris Sale Day. Cy Sale has a 5.4 ERA, a 1.4 whip, 5 innings pitched, 6 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk on his first outing of the season. He'll be going head-to-head with Sideshow Bob. Dustin May, his first start since 2023. The Atlanta Braves have not seen Dustin May since 2019. Backing up Sideshow Bob in the bottom of the first inning. Leading off the designated hitter, Shohei Ohtani. 6 for 21 on the year, 2 home runs, 2 RBI, 2 stolen bases, batting .286. Batting second, playing short, Mookie Betts. 2 home runs, 4 RBI, a .385 clip. Batting third, playing second, Tommy Edman. He has 3 home runs, 5 RBI, a .250 average. Teoscar Hernandez is batting cleanup with 2 home runs, including 1 last night, 8 RBI, and a .227 average. Behind the plate, it's Will Smith. Keep his wife's name out your mouth. 1 home run, 4 RBI, a .467 average. Kike Hernandez is batting sixth and playing first for the injured Freddie Freeman. 2 home runs, 4 RBI, a .167 average. Miguel Rojas is back at third base, .077 clip, 1 for 13 on the year. Andy Pius is in center field. He's 3 for 19, 158 average, and he'll be followed by Chris Taylor, who will be getting his first at-bats of the year. He's in left field and batting ninth. Teoscar Hernandez is the lone Dodger who has taken Chris Sale deep in his career. He's 3 for 16 lifetime. Shohei is batting .200. Mookie Betts, .333, 4 for 12. Calling balls and strikes here in Game 2, Dodgers-Braves, it's Phil Cousy. Your home plate umpire is Tony Randazzo. Second base will be manned by Clint Vondrick, and down the third base line, it's Dan Bellino. Game time temperatures here at Dodger Stadium, 10:10 Eastern first pitch, 7:10 local. 59 degrees, and the wind is whipping out to right field at 23 miles an hour. The only guy who did anything yesterday, let's go with Money Mike to click, and the Braves to put some runs on the board. Give me Atlanta to get their first win of the season. Braves 5, Dodgers 2. We'd like to thank everybody for choosing Braves Country Radio, and a special thanks to all the country club members. Please like on your way in and subscribe, set those alerts, and share Braves Country Radio to help build the crowd so we can continue to bring you the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. Atlanta Braves Baseball right here on Braves Country Radio. Your modern-day superstation is in its 5th season of bringing you pitch by pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves and our one-of-a-kind production. Take us anywhere you go for over 170 Atlanta Braves ball games. Please like and subscribe today. Join the Country Club. Thank you to all the Country Club members. You help support Braves Country Radio.
Get this bus moving. Stop. Come back. Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Time for roll call. Good evening, Envy, Jillian, Edward Spry, B.A., Baracus, Old World, Tim, good to see you. As I make my way down here. Charlie, good to see you. Cody, Charlie Elrod, Ninja, Mark Ricardo, Lucy, he's home. Sean, good to see you. G'day, mate. John. Pushing buttons. Well, the screen just jumped on me again, so what are you going to do about that? I guess not a lot you can do about it. Willis, what you talking about, Willis? William Putnam. Nick, good to see you. If I missed anybody, jump back into the chat. My screen jumped on me when it did. It knocked out the early comers, I believe. I'm not 100% sure what it did. But anyways, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll finish up roll call. If we missed anybody, jump in the chat. And we're set for Chris Sale Day. Let's get it. Hey, Braves Country, Mac McGee here for American Rebel Beer. America's patriotic light lager, all natural ingredients. Stand tall, be proud. The perfect beer to celebrate life, liberty, and your pursuit of the American dream. America's patriotic light lager, offering a crisp, clean, bold taste. Perfect beer to celebrate life, liberty, and your pursuit of the American dream. A beer with only 110 calories that tastes like a full-flavored beer and celebrates like freedom. Hey, Braves Country, this is Mac McGee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Join the Country Club today. Help support Braves Country Radio. Join the Country Club today. It helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Hey, Braves Country, Mac McGee here for American Rebel Beer. From the mountains to the prairies to your pint glass with white foam, we're bringing back beer with a backbone. All that matters in our brew is taste and a touch of American excellence. American Rebel Beer, born in the USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the radio news.
Sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. There is nothing wrong. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both things and ideas. You've just crossed over into
adventures in time and space.
We offer you
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
Hi, folks. Join us now for another Braves ball game. Yes, sir. This is the one we've been waiting for. This is it. This makes you feel like it's spring and baseball. No more measles and free tickets to the circus.
You're in Braves country.
This is a reminder, disorderly conduct will not be tolerated. Please respect your fellow fan and refrain from any unruly behavior. Failure to comply with these guidelines will result in ejection.
Good evening, Braves Country. I see Chris jumping in the chat. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good guesstimation, Chris. First time out. I would think probably 4 innings. A lot of it nowadays, they don't just do the pitch count. It's what they call the up downs, meaning how many innings you go, because they're also counting your warm-up tosses, which nowadays is about 8 in between innings. We got Braves 5, Dodgers 2. That's the prediction. We'll see how close we are on that one. Good news in the division. The Mets lost tonight. They went up against Sandy Alcantara. That's good news, bad news. That means that Sandy Alcantara could be pitching Sunday against the Braves. I don't know if they will do that or not. He's coming off the injury. So if they give him a full rest, because they are off as well on Thursday, then we won't face him. But if they're trying to push it and see how well they can do, then he would go on normal 4 days rest if he does pitch. We are just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. I wanted to bring up something. So we were talking about the last time the Braves faced Dustin May. I was looking at the box score from that day. This is how long ago it's been. These guys were in the lineup that day and contributed. Brian McCann, Josh Donaldson, Freddie Freeman, and a very young Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies. Matt Joyce scored twice on that day. The hero was a grand slam by Rafael Ortega off of May, if y'all remember him. Mark Melancon got the save. A very young and inexperienced Max Fried went 4 innings. Shane Green got the hold. Chris Martin got a hold. So that's how long ago that's been. You talk about turn back time. That's a turn back time right there. Dustin May, or as I like to call him, Sideshow Bob, is throwing his final warm-up tosses. Dodgers are wearing their classic Dodger whites, Dodgers across the chest, blue ball caps, white interlocking LA. Braves are wearing their traditional road gear. Stuart Fairchild is available off the bench. He's kind of bounced around the league. He's nothing that's going to jump off at you, but he is an athletic player that could contribute off the bench, and is also, from my understanding, a pretty good base runner. Braves, despite what you see on your screen there, the Braves are wearing their classic gray pants and dark blue tops. Atlanta across the chest. Tomahawk underneath, all in red, outlined in white, same as the numerals on the back, and the names are in white. The Navy ball caps, the classic white A on the front. Michael Harris II will be our leadoff hitter going forward, unless something else were to happen, or maybe someone gets hot, but Harris has done a pretty good job at the top of the order. He is heading his way to the plate with the palm trees in the background as the sun drops behind Dodger Stadium. And we are just about set for pitch by pitch. Yes, sir! It is baseball time in Braves country. First pitch on the way is a sinker at the knees. Called for a strike, righty-lefty matchup. It's 0-1. The 0-1 kicks and fires. Harris shows bunt, but pulls it back. 1-1. 1-1 count. The home plate umpire, Phil Cousy, crouching behind Will Smith. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Sweeper down and in, 1-2. Might have got a piece of it rolled to the backstop, nonetheless. Braves nothing, Dodgers nothing. One of the oldest rivalries in baseball, dates back to the Braves franchise starting in Boston. In L.A., where they belong in Brooklyn. The 1-2, outside wide, 2-2. 2-2 count. Dustin May comes set. He kicks and fires. Fastball high and out of the zone. Do it again. I was saying his hair was pulled back, and it is to a degree, but he's let it flow a little bit since he went out there on the mound. In the warm-ups, it was pulled back. Not really a man bun, but you get the idea. The payoff pitch. Caught looking, strike three. 96 miles an hour up top. You got to swing the bat if you're at the top of the order, Harris. One away. Must have been sitting on breaking ball, and that's always a failed strategy. Especially when you have two strikes, you got to sit on the hard stuff and adjust if he comes in with the off speed. Austin Riley steps to the plate. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Sinker, 97 up top. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Dustin May comes set. Smith sets up on the outside. Swing, lifts it high and deep into right field. Looks like he's going to have room, or will he run out? He's going to just run out of room. And a heck of a catch by a Braves fan out there in the deep corner. One away. They're on the front row in the deep corner just next to the foul pole. He brought his glove, but we'll let that slide. Good catch. So the 0-2 to Riley. Infield back into the left. Here is the pitch. Fastball misses high, 1-2. Seems like that was a bit of a set-me-up. The 1-2 inside almost gets him. The 2-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike three. Chase went off the edge. 2 away. Two down, and Matt Olson comes to the plate. Olson, righty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way. Way outside wide. Looked like a bender that didn't bend. 1-0. 1-0. Comes set. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Fastball up top, 1-1. One count. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Cutter right down Main Street. Pitch that typically Matt Olson obliterates. Just underneath it. 1-2 count for May. Here's the pitch. Strikes out the side. He got a very generous call on the outside, but he's been around the plate all inning. That'll end the inning. Strike out the side, and the Braves scoring continues to hit the bricks. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
I'm thinking I might just treat myself to a full-blown meltdown sometime this week. No limits. I'm not going to hold back. It's been a while.
God said, I need somebody willing to wake up, give kisses, pee on a tree, sleep all day, wake up again, give more kisses, then stay up until midnight basking in the glow of a television set. God said, I need somebody willing with no ego or complaint, dress in hats they don't need and costumes they don't understand. Somebody who, no matter what you didn't do or couldn't take or didn't win or couldn't make, will love you without judgment just the same. So God made a dog. God said, I need somebody strong enough to pull sleds and find bombs, yet gentle enough to love babies and lead the blind. Somebody who will spend all day on a couch with a resting head and supportive eyes to lift the spirits of a broken heart. It had to be somebody who'd remain patient and loyal even through loneliness. Somebody to care, cuddle, snuggle and nuzzle and cheer and charm and snore and slobber and eat the trash and chase the squirrels. Somebody who would bark and then reply with rapid wag of tail. So God made a dog.
What's that over there?
It looks like a bunch of people.
Ugh, people.
The Yankees had gotten red hot, but as the summer of '61 rolled on, things in New York were about to get even hotter.
Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle of the New York Yankees. They're standing baseball on its ear with the home run mayhem they're committing on the American League.
As the summer of 1961 rolled on, the great home run race intensified.
That ball has gone way back.
Soon it began to dawn on the baseball world that they were both on pace to break the game's most sacred record, 60 home runs in a season, set by the legendary Babe Ruth.
Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle were chasing God. There was never a figure in the history of the game as significant, as overwhelming, as powerful, as adored as Babe Ruth.
Welcome back. Chris Sale versus Ohtani. First pitch on the way is a P at the knees for a strike. 92-mile-an-hour sinker. It's 0-1. The 0-1 lefty-lefty matchup. Swung on, banged on the ground over to second. Ozzie has it. Easy flip of the wrist. One away. 4-3 in your scorecard. He went sinker change to start that at bat versus Ohtani. You'll see a 4-pitch mix. Slider and 4-seam fastball come in at about 72% of the time. Then he'll mix in the change at an even 24%. Sinker just enough to keep you honest at about 5%. 4-seam fastball right there on the outer cut to Mookie Betts. It's 0-1. The 0-1, down and in, 1-1. 1-1 count. Lefty, righty, Mookie Betts off to a torrid start. 4 for 8 this year with a couple of home runs. Pitch on the way. Slider up top. 1-2. Same two teams back at it tomorrow night. A little earlier start, so make sure to set your alerts. It's 8:38 first pitch. Bryce Elder Day. The 1-2. Swung on it, chopped back behind home plate. We'll do it again. The 1-2. Swung on and rolled over. Do it again. Mookie Betts doing just enough to stay alive here. Infield is back into the left. Playing Mookie to pull. Pretty much straight away in the outfield. The 1-2. Fastball. Misses high and out of the zone. 2-2. 2-2 count. Braves nothing, Dodgers nothing. Game 2 of a 3-game series. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted, but that ball's going to get dumped into the upper deck here at Dodger Stadium. Foul. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chris Sale got him. 1 away. 2 away, excuse me. First strikeout of the day. We do have the Conductor app there for you Country Club members, so we've got that up for you. Good pitch. First pitch on the way to Tommy Edman is up top. Slider for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. 85-mile-an-hour changeup. Just misses. 1-1. Tommy Edman, come over from the Cardinals last year in the trade at the deadline. Signed an extension in the offseason. The 1-1 pitch. Swing. That ball's lifted into the left field. Drifting in. Making the catch. A hopping catch is Brian De La Cruz. So 1, 2, 3. 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back in a flash. The Conductor looking pretty good so far here in Dodger Stadium. On this date, in 1948, at Ebbets Field, number 2, the Dodgers play their first exhibition game at Dodgertown in Vero Beach, which will remain the team's home for 61 years. Amidst much fanfare, including Governor Millard Caldwell throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. Jackie Robinson homers in the first inning when Brooklyn beats its top farm club, the Montreal Royals, 5-4. On this date in 1968, the American League's new franchise in Seattle chooses Pilots as the team's nickname. The name originated from the Coastal Seaport Cities Association with the airplane industry and co-owner Dewey Soriano's part-time job as an Arbor pilot. And on this date, in 1994, the Chicago White Sox assigned NBA superstar Michael Jordan to the Birmingham Barons of the Class AA Southern League. Before returning to the NBA, the 31-year-old outfielder will play just one season of professional baseball, hitting just over the Mendoza line at .202 in 134 games for the minor league squad. And that's your Braves Country Radio on this date in baseball history. Find us on YouTube and Facebook today. Welcome back. Marcell Ozuna will lead us off. Righty-righty matchup. Ozuna digs in. Dustin May brings the first pitch, 94-mile-an-hour sinker below the knees. It's 1-0. Dodgers franchise began way back in 1883 in Brooklyn. They were known as the Grays at that point. 1-0. Down below the knee. Whoa! He called that a strike. Are you kidding me? 1-1. It's showing much higher on the screen. The 1-1 count. Outside wide, 2-1. That pitch was a good 2 to 3 inches below the strike zone. The zone you see on your screen is AI. The 2-1 swing. That ball's dropped into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Leadoff single for the Big Bear, the Big Zoo. Hard hit ball towards the gap. Good job by Mookie Betts to cut that off, prevent it from being extra bases. By the time the Brooklyn franchise appeared in 1883, the Braves franchise, first pitch on the way, is a sweeper inside for a strike to Ozzie Albies. It's 0-1. Had already gone through 2 name changes. In 1871, we were known as the Red Stockings. That's why it's very confusing to people when they hear about the Red Sox and the Red Stockings. The Red Sox stole their name from the Boston Red Stockings, who are now the Braves. The 0-1, outside wide. Wide strike. Phil Cousy not doing a good job there. It's 0-2. Changed their name to the Red Caps, and then in 1883 became the Boston Beaneaters when Los Angeles, then Brooklyn, came into the league. The 0-2 down and in, 1-2. Ozzie had to step out of the way. This Brooklyn Dodger franchise went through a ton of name changes in a very short period of time. In 1883, they were known as the Grays. The next year, they were the Brooklyn Atlantics. They went back to the Grays. Is the 1-2. Swing, sawed it off, foul into the upper deck. 1-2, 1 on, nobody out. So they go back to the Grays from 1885 to 1887, and then they become the Bridegrooms for 3 seasons, and then just the Brooklyn Grooms in 1891 to 95. The 1-2, swung on, chopped foul. Ozzie just got a piece of it. Making May work on this one. Ozzie wouldn't be swinging at a couple of these if he hadn't gotten that poor strike call to start the at-bat. Then from 1899 to 1910, they were known as the Superbas, or Superbas. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. 96-mile-an-hour fastball up top, top shelf, one away. And that's when the name the Trolley Dodgers took over the Brooklyn franchise in 1911 and 1912. They went to the Dodgers, and then they went to the Brooklyn Robins from 1914 to 1931. When they became the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1932, that's been their nickname ever since. First pitch on the way to Drake Baldwin. It's outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner at first, 1 out. The Braves have had their share of name changes as well. It's very common in the beginning of baseball to change your name pretty frequently. The 1-0. 95 slaps the side of the zone, 1-1. Red Stockings became the Red Caps. And then the one that I think everyone thinks was their first name, but it was their third name, the Beaneaters. I see it a lot on social media where people refer to that as being their first name. It was not. The 1-1, outside wide, 2-1. They were the Beaneaters from 1883 to 1906, and then became the Boston Doves for 4 seasons, and then 1 year, the Boston Rustlers. That name was not popular at all, so they got rid of it before the season even ended. The 2-1, outside wide, 3-1. They'd already started a poll in the paper to name the team. From 1912 to 1935, they became the Braves, changing their name back for 5 seasons. From 36 to 40, became the Boston Bees. The 3-1 pitch, inside, ball 4. So he gets that call. I had to pause for a second because you never know. Phil Cousy has a kooky duke strike zone today. Drake will head on down to first.
You don't like the Drake?
I love the Drake.
How could you not like the Drake?
Who's the Drake?
The Drake is good.
Since 1941, the Boston, Milwaukee, Atlanta Braves have been ever since. Brian De La Cruz steps in. First pitch on the way. Swung on and rifled up the middle, and this is going to be an easy 4-6. No, they loses the ball. What was that? The Braves are going to score. I'll clean that up in a second, but Marcell Ozuna is going to come home and score. I got to take a look at that again. They were attempting a 4-6-3 double play. De La Cruz kind of corkscrewed it over Dustin May's head. He went to the turf. Edmund dished it to Mookie Betts. It's a pretty good dish, but he just got tied up there, couldn't get a handle on the ball. He was supposed to hold on to it. He flung it to his left side towards left field. So it'll be an E6. First pitch on the way to Jared Kelenic. Swung on and fouled back. It's 0-1. You can't assume the double play. So we'll see how that is played out here in the scorecard at the end of the inning. The 0-1. Sweeper first strike. 0-2. No 2 count. Nonetheless, De La Cruz will not be credited with an RBI. Dustin May, by the way, this is 34th pitch. Fastball misses high out of the zone. 1-2. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing. This team's having such a hard time scoring. We'll take it any way we can get it. Marcell came all the way around from second to home. He just kept trucking, assuming there was going to be a double play. The 1-2. This is outside wide. 2-2. 2-2 count. Kicks and brings it. Swung on and dragged over towards second. Tommy Evans got it. He'll flip it over to first, and that'll end the inning. But not for your Atlanta Braves. Put one on the board. That feels good. Feels like we've been stuck in quicksand for a week. We'll be back in a flash.
Last time I go home with a cougar from the bar, woke me up at 6:30, talking about, I need some weed eating done. My grandkids don't ever do it. I don't blame them, Gertrude. I've been doing it for 3 hours. Talking about you want to cook some cornbread for lunch. I'm leaving and never coming back. I'm scared.
Hey, back in the day, we used to throw toilet paper all over people's houses for pranks. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to stretch out this last roll until payday.
Hey, babe, I need to take a shower. You want to help me?
Do I need to help you take a shower?
Would you like to? When a pretty girl asks you if you want to help her in the shower, generally you jump up and down and go, yippee!
It was you, so that could mean I can't stand up right now.
I hate when you're right.
Listen, is anybody else's husband like this? My husband can literally look at a map for like 2 seconds on his phone and know exactly how to get there. It'd be like a 5-hour drive. Okay, Sacagawea, I need a GPS to go somewhere in the town that I grew up in.
I gotta straighten up my life. This heat wave made me realize I can't go to hell.
If anyone appeared destined to break the Babe's revered mark, it was the Mick, the iconic Yankee hero of a new generation. Not Maris, a mere transplant from the Kansas City A's.
There it is. A long drive to deep right field, and the ball is gone.
It's amazing enough when one guy tries to break, but here you have 2 players on a team trying to break the greatest record of all time.
As fate would have it, Babe Ruth's ghostwriter and good friend, Ford Frick, happened to be the commissioner of baseball in 1961. And with Mantle and Maris ahead of Ruth's home run pace after the All-Star break, Frick decreed that if Ruth's mark was not broken by game 154, equaling the length of the season the Babe had played in 1927, any record set thereafter would only be placed alongside Ruth's in the the record book.
Welcome back. Chris Sale goes to work with a 1-0 lead. First pitch on the way. Down below the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. Put the strike zone camera back on for you. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. Pulled the string on that one. Good slider. He had Hernandez way out in front of that one. One count. Swung on. That got a piece of Hernandez. He's hopping around. Trying to see where it got him at. It looked like it might have got him in the knee, but maybe he's bent over and Roberts is out there, the first one to check on him. Here comes the trainer. Let's see where it got him. No, it was on the foot, front end of the foot. He spun around and then grabbed his knee, but that might have just been reactionary. Of course, we've all been there where you stub your toe and then sprain your knee as you're hopping around. He appears to be okay. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing. Glad to have you all sitting around enjoying Braves Country Radio on a Tuesday night, wherever you may be. 1-2, swung on and lifted over toward deep into short. Allen's got it, fires across the diamond. He had no real shot at getting him there. And it's an infield single for Hernandez. He must be okay because he outran that throw. Allen had to go deep into the hole there to get the ball. Pretty good job of keeping it in the infield, not that that matters on a play like that. There's been a couple hit over there this week that Arcia's not been able to get to. If you could just give Allen Arcia's arm, we'd be in business. First pitch on the way is a four-seamer right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Inside that get him. That did get him. So Sale has hit Will Smith on the arm on the protective gear. He'll head to first. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. Not what you want. Coming off getting a run for Chris Sale. Two on, nobody out, and first pitch swinging is Kike Hernandez. He goes over a bending slider down and in. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Swing, chops it foul. Down the third base side. The 0-2 count. Kicks and fires. Swing, rattles it back foul. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing, bottom of the second. You'd love to get a double play ball here, but strikeout would do wonders as well. Miguel Rojas is on deck. Paez is in the hole. If they can keep it going, Shohei Ohtani would be after that. The 0-2. Swung on, pops it up. Foul and out of play. The 0-2. Tried to get him to chase a changeup off the plate. One-two count. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Got him with the nasty slider down and in. One away. Big strikeout there for Chris Sale. So he got him to chase well out of the zone. Whoa, whoa. Chicka, 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 chicka. Whoa, whoa. Conductor now goes in against Rojas. The first pitch on the way to Rojas is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing. Rojas hit .283 last year. He's off to a little bit of a slow start, but we know he's a good professional at bat almost every time. Sale turns around and chases the runner back to second. Hernandez had a little bit of a lead, but honestly, the lean over at first is much better because Olson's not holding him on. The 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. Will Smith, I mean, he's got to be 30, 35 feet down the baseline. It's a little odd considering the 0-2, swung on, chop foul, will do it again. It's a little odd that they're playing that far off for first base, telling Olson to play that far off of first base, because the double play is in order. And though Rojas isn't exactly slow, he's not exactly Lightning McQueen either. I mean, you'd think he'd be a little closer to the bag. That's what got Sale's eye out there. The 0-2. Change up, misses just below the knees. Right in that same area where home plate umpire Phil Cousy has already called him 2 strikes against the Braves. He does not give Sale that one. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses high and out of the zone. 96 miles an hour. 2-2. The 2-2. Swing. Pops it up. Got him to chase out in front. Michael Harris will come in, drift in, make the easy catch. 2 away. There's a bit of a rainbow over there to third base as the runners go back by. Rojas will take a seat. And it's Paez's turn. This is a big at bat here. You got 2 outs, but Shohei Ohtani's on deck. The last thing you want to do is see Ohtani in this inning. It means either the bases are loaded or somebody has scored. First pitch on the way. 95 misses outside wide. It's 1-0. I'm sorry, Chris Taylor's on deck. My apologies. I had it. They changed the order about an hour ago, and I had it misprinted. The 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. So with that being said, you do have a runner to play with, but Chris Taylor, he's just coming in for his first at bats this year. That's a plus, but he has absolutely pelted Braves pitching in the past. The 1-1 fastball up top. Did not get the call. Are you kidding me? 2-1. Phil Cousy, to my count, has blown at least a handful of pitches on both sides. The 2-1 pitch, right there for a strike, 2-2. And this is when I think a lot of Braves fans miss the Bobby Cox veracity, because he'd be getting an earful right now. Phil Cousy would be from the dugout. Snicker does not believe in that. He believes she's just steady as she goes. The 2-2. Swung on and dribbled over to short. Allen's got it, flips it to first, and we escape the inning unscathed. Wow. We'll be back in a flash. Great job by the conductor to get out of that one. All aboard. Whoa, whoa.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in?
That if you take more than one trip to bring your groceries in, you will. And I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but if you're not willing to cut the circulation of your arms off to take one trip, you will.
And here comes Mantle. Listen to the applause. Wow, it's a standing ovation for him. And the pitch to Mantle. Strike zone. Mantle, the 16th All-Star game. Hitting .233 this year. Always a hard luck player. Played with injuries throughout his career. Over 529 lifetime homers.
Any record set thereafter would only be placed alongside Ruth's in the record book.
What it did do was just drag people into this controversy. Who's going to do it? Will it be recognized?
What happens is this. During the middle of the season, 20 reporters come. A couple weeks later, it's 40, and then it's 60, and then 80.
One of the great early events of the media society was the Maris and Mantle home run derby. Suddenly, television had arrived, and as it arrived, it amplified this thing, and the whole country could see it.
There's a drive. Oh, man, he tagged that one, and the photographers are happy. They finally got him.
It was the perfect media storm with Mickey and Roger at the center.
Roger was from Fargo, North Dakota, and he was a very bashful guy. Roger didn't want all that publicity.
How about the home run situation, Roger? You're 7 games ahead of Babe Ruth's record. Do you think that you can beat the Babe's record?
Well, I don't think so, Bob. Of course, I'm not going to shoot for it. Babe had...
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. Dustin May gets back on the bump. He'll face the number 9 hitter of the Atlanta Braves, Nick Allen. He'll take the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 kicks and fires inside. 1-1. It'll be Nick, Harris, and Riley. The 1-1. Check swing. Let's call that a ball. We'll take it 2-1. I've got an even half dozen right now of blown calls by Nick Kuzi. 4 of them have gone against Atlanta. The 2-1. Swung on, chops it over towards short. Easy play for Mookie. He flips it over to first. 6-3 in your scorecard. One away. 1 down, and now we're going through the lineup for a second time, so we'll see if any adjustments are made by Harris and Riley this inning. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing if you're just joining us. Marcell Ozuna reached on a single and then scored on an error by Mookie Betts. First pitch on the way to Harris is inside. Did he go around? He did not. Third base umpire Dan Bellino says no dice. It's 1-0. That ended up being an unearned run on the error for Mookie Betts, the 1-0. Slice foul, 1-1. Had the Braves gotten a couple more hits, it would have been an earned run. Because once again, you can't assume the double play if folks are wondering how that works. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swing. Fouls it back. We'll do it again. The 1-2. Comes set. May brings it. Outside wide, 2-2. 2-2 count. Dustin May, this will be his 45th pitch of the night. The windup, swung on, and that ball is going to get rolled over towards first. It's going to be an easy G3 in your scorecard, 2 down. Two down. Austin Riley coming to the plate. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Sweeper. Down and away. It's 0-1. Riley, first time up, struck out swinging. The 0-1. Swing, pounds that into the night, but plenty foul. Good 30 feet or so right of the right field foul pole. Wind is whipping out there to right field. We mentioned it at pregame. 23 miles an hour is where they got it now. The 0-2. Swing, that ball's lifted into right field. Going back at the track, making the catch is Hernandez, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. Chris Sale has to go back to work quickly. Braves bats didn't do him any justice.
I'm very concerned that I might have early onset Alzheimer's because I keep forgetting that men can be absolute dumpster fires of human beings. Thankfully, that the men of the internet are right there in my comment section to remind me just how horrendous they can be.
I wouldn't say a word if injuries were getting better in this philosophy of analytics towards pitching. They're getting worse. That's why they don't talk about it. We've been screaming at the mountaintop for years about these players' careers getting shortened, and they don't frankly care because they're just going to get another Paul Skeens in their mind. That's what they think. The next man up. It is all possible. We're brainwashed to think 100 pitches and a guy breaks. Everything we're doing is opposite of successful long-term careers. We limit, we baby, we don't let them do the things they're naturally gifted to do. We've turned them into robots, and we've asked them to just go as fast and as hard as you can.
Here's Maris. He doesn't like being at the center. Mantle loved it. I mean, Mantle should have been on a Broadway show, would have loved it.
I wanted Mickey Mantle, and this is Mickey Mantle, so you can applaud him right now.
Mickey was the gregarious, funny, outgoing, kidding around guy. He also had the look. I mean, he was a very handsome guy. When he smiled, he was like a movie star.
The blonde bomber, boyhood freckles, arms of Popeye, mythicized by the press. You know, he had the entire package.
As Labor Day approached, Maris was slightly ahead of Mantle in the home run race, but way behind in the popularity contest.
I know that he sensed that the fans and the media wanted Mickey to win, and that was tough.
The real irony was the better he did, the more the Mantle fan began to resent him.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. Chris Sale will go back to work. Didn't get much of a rest there at the in-between innings, but here we go. First pitch on the way to Chris Taylor is popped up high in the sky, and Olson's got it. One away. Good to see a few smiles on the face of the Braves out there. They just look like they've been going through it last several days. I think more so than anything else, they're struggling at the plate, and then they get the bad news yesterday. And then randomly, we didn't have a chance to go over this in the pregame, but Uncle Jesse got DFA'd today. I think the hope is that he'll make it back through the waivers and go to the Braves farm system. First pitch on the way is right there, slider. For a strike, it's on 1. But if you wonder why that happened, I can tell you, without a doubt, the big reason is the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Slider. 0-2. they really want to try to win a game here in Los Angeles. They used Jesse for a couple innings yesterday, which means he's probably not available the next couple of days. And he did get pelted a little bit. And you got to figure a lot of teams won't touch him. The 0-2, down and away, 1-2. So 1-2 count. I feel like when you get to a certain part in your career, if you get DFA'd as many times as Jesse does, he should have the right to just say, I don't want to go anywhere else but here. The 1-2, I'm okay with staying in the minor league system. 1-2 misses high, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Shohei Ohtani grounded out to second his first time up. The 2-2. Kicks and delivers, swung on and ripped down the first base line, but foul. So a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Changeup down and away, full count. No, Sale doesn't want to give in to him, but at the same token, if he gets on base, he's a threat to score. As much as he is willing to run on early parts of the count. Payoff pitch. Swing, chops it foul. Do it again. Standing on deck is Mookie Betts. He's 0 for 1. Edman 0 for 1 is in the hole. Payoff pitch. Swung on and ripped up the middle, but right at Nick Allen. He takes the one hopper off the mound, pounds it over to first, 2 down. They just had him played perfectly there. The ball was scalded up the middle. Two down, and Mookie Betts, the batter. First pitch on the way is a slider down and in. For a strike, it's 0-1. You know Mookie wants to make up for that error that led to the 1 run. Oh, that's not how he wants to make up with it. 92-mile-an-hour fastball got him right inside, near the ribs. I have to see where it actually hit him. He appears to be okay. He's getting it pretty quickly. See where it got him. That might have actually missed him. Might have just hit him in the jersey. This third look. Yeah, I don't even know if it hit him. If it hit him, it must have skipped. Whatever part it hit him, it would have just barely skipped. They're not challenging. Drake Baldwin must have heard something as well. First pitch on the way. Is a fastball right down the pipe. It's 0-1. The umpire doesn't go by sight on those hit by pitches. They go by sound if there's a double tap as the ball goes by. The 0-1 swung on and lifted into left field. Just foul. Man, was that going to be a problem. Mookie was off to the races with 2 outs. I think he would have scored for sure. They didn't really have Edman to play to pull. It was a little more of a straightaway. If that ball just would have been a few feet to the right, we would have had a tie ball game. So an 0-2 count to Edman. A good time to end this inning. Mookie on first. Teoscar Hernandez is standing in the wings. The 0-2. As Edmund takes his timeout, I think he really did that more for Mookie to get back to first. Braves infield is back into the left. Huge hole on the right side as they try to hold on Mookie. The 0-2 in the dirt. Good block. Mookie stayed put. 1-2. Chris Sale, by the way, 50 pitches. Little north of where you want it in the third inning, but not quite in the danger zone yet. Did y'all see Nathan Eovaldi tonight? He pitched a complete game shutout in Cincinnati. The 1-2, Mookie goes. Pitch on the way, swung on, pops it up. High over towards first. Foul territory. Making the catch over his shoulder is Olsen. He almost lost that one. That wing's doing some tricky things down the line. We'll be back in a flash. The heart of the Atlanta Braves order is coming to the dish.
Hey, does anybody else miss that part of the pandemic where it was illegal to be all up in people's personal space?
We are pleased to announce some exciting new changes to the NFL season. The first 3 quarters of each game will be shown on NBC. Fans who wish to watch the fourth quarter will have to switch to Peacock. Overtime will be shown on YouTube TV, subject to local blackouts. The NFL playoffs will be shown on a combination of Paramount Plus, Hulu, and Netflix, while the Super Bowl will be streamed on Xbox Live. During the game, there will be a special gambling timeout between every third and fourth down, giving fans at home time to wager on what will happen next. The team whose fan base bets the most on the game will receive an extra timeout at the end of each quarter. And finally, to encourage gambling, quarterbacks will be required to call out FanDuel before every play in the red zone. Thank you, and God bless the United States of gambling.
Armchair.
Mickey became the golden-haired boy, and I came the other guy. You know, I'm glad for Mickey that it worked out that way. On the other hand, I had to feel a little sad because I was getting the other side of the stick.
Back in the realm of the clubhouse, Mickey was also king.
The teammates really had an emotional connection with Mantle. Players related to him, loved him, saw him as a warm human being. He was one of them.
Mickey Mantle was absolutely the greatest, especially with his teammates. If you were Mickey Mantle's friend, you were a friend for life.
And the biggest beneficiary in '61 was Roger Maris.
There was a lot written about me and Roger not liking each other, and that's the farthest thing from the truth that it could ever be. I don't think we ever had an argument. We appreciated each other.
Both Roger and Mickey respected each other's performance under that enormous pressure. And finally, in that '61 season, they actually got an apartment together.
Welcome back. The Ice House will step in. First pitch on the way. Swung on and foul back out of play. It's 0-1. Trying to get more clips when these guys hit home runs. We got the new Riley one, although it's recycled, but we're using it for Riley, the year my boy Blue. We're working on one for Olsen. I should have it by the home opener. The 0-1 misses high. 1-1. 1-1 count. Wind blowing out sharply to right field. Around 23 miles an hour. The 1-1. Down and in, 2-1. It's a 2-1 count. You got to figure all the left-handed batters are trying to get that ball up in that wind. It might be over swinging. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 94 miles an hour. Just behind that one, 2-2. Olsen struck out his first time up. The 2-2. Sideshow brings it. Swing, that ball sliced down the line, but foul. That thing stays straight. It might have even curled over the very short porch there in deep left field. Far left field is just 330 down the line. That ball was heading towards that. Might have been a touch below it, but it would have came very close. Definitely would have been extra bases. The 2-2. In the dirt, 3-2. Tried to throw a cutter there, just didn't get the right release. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing, top of the 4th inning. Dustin May sitting at 54 pitches here in the 4th. Nobody out. The payoff pitch. 95 down below the knees, strike 3. Olsen says something to Kuzi. One away. That one, I'd say with 2 strikes, you got to swing at it because it had pretty good action, though it did look like it just missed the zone. But he's been calling so many goofy strikes. At 2 strikes, you got to swing the bat on that one. It's way too close to take. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is a sweeper down and away. It's 1-0. Marcel reached on a single, long single to right center field, and then scored on the throwing error by Mookie Betts. The 1-0. Dustin May delivers high and inside, 96 miles an hour. 2-0. Two-0 count. Here in the top of the 4th, just 1 away. Here's the pitch in the dirt. 3-0. Ozuna looking for his first home run of the year. The 3-0. May spins it. 95 inside. Oh, they call that a ball, so that evens it out. I mean, he is not accurate. We'll just put it that way on Phil Kuzi. Marcel will head on down to first. Righty-lefty matchup as Ozzie Albies comes to the plate. First pitch is a 95 mile an hour. Tosses it high out of the zone. It's 1-0. Drake Baldwin on deck. The 1-0. Swing. Rips that down the third base line. First base line, excuse me. 1-1. One count. Ozzie digs in. Here's the pitch. Swing. Chops it over towards second. It's going to be a very close play. Edman fires it to first. On the play, good base running by Ozuna. He scoots on down to second base. Drake Baldwin will come to the plate. Baldwin walked his first time up. Infield is back into the right. Straight away in the outfield. First pitch on the way. Changeup misses high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing. Ozuna would be running at the crack of the bat. So anything that dropped down in front of that outfield is playing pretty deep right now. 1-0. Outside wide. 2-0. It should score Ozuna, but we know how Tuiasa Sopo, the third base coach, has been in the past. He tends to be very conservative on sending his runners. The 2-0. Down and in, 3-0. Three-0 count. May about to throw his 66th pitch here in the fourth inning. The windup, kicks and deals. 94. Outside the zone, but called for a strike, 3-1. Baldwin just kind of gave a glare back to Phil Cousy. He's another one that needs to go. I mean, there's about a handful that none of these guys are going to be perfect, and I get that. But Phil Cousy, every time we get him, he's just a disaster. 3-1, swing and a miss. 3-2, so a full count. Really changes the inning because you'd have runners on first and second right now, and De La Cruz coming to the plate. If nothing else, you clear him and you get further down the line. With the injuries that the Braves are dealing with and suspensions, it's a much shorter lineup than normal. The payoff pitch, swing, pops it up. High into left field, going back on the track, but he'll make the catch as Chris Taylor. That'll end the inning. Braves get one in scoring position. Can't get him across. Hard to fight. The Dodgers and Phil Cousy will be back in a flash.
If you love someone, set them free. If you hate someone, set them free. Basically, just set everybody free. Get a dog. People are annoying.
Excuse me, did you like the movie?
I did.
Well, I didn't because you didn't shut the up.
What?
Something's wrong with my legs. When I go like this, and then I go like that, I end up at the liquor store.
Okay, I used to be so nervous about like eating out alone, but I just came here and got a chicken sandwich all on my own and I don't care. Judge me, judge me.
Loser.
Hey Braves Country, this is Mac McGee with Braves Country Radio. We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Please like and subscribe today. It helps us bring you more of the game we all love. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe it's Maybelline. Honey, mind your business. Mind your business.
I can remember he used to come in, slap me in the head, wake me up. He got the paper and he said, "Hey, Mick, wake up." He said, "We're fighting again."
I think Mickey probably helped him more than anybody because Mickey's been through the glare of the New York media and through national pressures too, and I think that's the reason they roomed together.
As the season wound down and the pressure grew, Maris and Mantle continued to share the spotlight, but a dramatic turn in their historic chase would soon shift the glare entirely onto one of them, and its heat would take a terrible toll. As the 1961 Major League Baseball season entered the home stretch, the surprising Cincinnati Reds found themselves leading the National League.
No one expected it in spring training. No one expected it in May, June, or July. It wasn't probably till August that people really said that, well, we do have a chance.
Join the Country Club today. Help support Braves Country Radio. Join the Country Club today. Welcome back. So kind of what I was talking about, they just showed a clip from the previous inning when Sale was on the mound. And he said something to Mookie Betts as he was crossing the field, basically saying, you know damn good and well you didn't get hit. And Mookie just kind of laughed. First pitch on the way. Slider outside the zone. It's 1-0. Remember, they're also ex-teammates from the 2018 Red Sox that won the World Series, that had their own cheating scandal. The 1-0 swung on, pops it up high into center field. Camping underneath it is Michael Harris. One away. F8 in your scorecard if you're keeping score at home. Teoscar Hernandez. That'll bring Will Smith to the plate. He got hit by a pitch. His first time up. Sales hit a couple, but he doesn't believe he hit Mookie. I don't think he did either. When he hit Smith, he hit his elbow pad, but he did hit him. First pitch on the way to Smith is outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Lefty-righty matchup. Sale at 54 pitches. You'd love a short inning here somewhere. 1-0. Swung on, foul back. 2-0. Or 1-1, excuse me. 1-1 count. It's late. Appreciate y'all staying up with us here in Braves Country. One more late game. Tomorrow night's not quite as late. 8:38 first pitch. So about an hour and a half before this one. 1-1 slider slaps the zone. 1-2. 1-2 count. Standing on deck is Kike Hernandez. Wind up the pitch. Caught, looking strike 3. Got him right there. Yak him. 2 away. 2 down. The conductor putting together a pretty good outing so far. He's given up the 1 hit. He's not walked anybody, though he has hit a couple of batters. First pitch on the way to Kike Hernandez. Not to be confused with Teoscar Hernandez, no relation. Swing and a miss, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. 92 up top. Looked like it hit the top of the zones, not getting the call there. 1-1 count. Kike digs in from the right side. The pitch, swing and a miss. Slider, 1-2. This would be huge if he could get a 1-2-3 quickly here with Hernandez. He'd get his pitch count down right around that 15 per inning range where you'd love to see a starting pitcher. The 1-2 brings it. Slider down and in. Evens the count. The 2-2. Chris Sale. Swing, chops that ball foul down the third base towards the dugout. Atlanta Braves with the third base dugout. The 2-2. Sale comes set. Pitches. Swing. Fouls it straight back. So nothing else. Kike's making him work here in this last out of the inning. He's kind of like their Jesse Chavez. Kike Hernandez goes all over and always ends up back at the Dodgers. The 2-2. Swing, pops that up, back out of play. He can play all over the field, infield, outfield. The 2-2 to Kike. Here's the pitch. Swing, pops it up, high into right field, camping underneath it, making the catch is Kid Kelnick, and that'll end the inning. 1-2-3. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country. The conductor doing business. All aboard! Whoa, whoa! Chicka, 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 chicka. Whoa, whoa! On this date in 1914, Rube Waddell, a southpaw who once struck out a record 349 batters in one season, dies of tuberculosis at age 37. The eccentric Hall of Famer compiled a 193-43 record and a 2.16 ERA during his 13 seasons with the Colonels, Athletics, Pirates, and Browns. On this date in 1963, former Brooklyn Dodger Duke Snider returns to New York when the Mets purchase him from LA for $40,000. At the end of the season, they will tell the 36-year-old outfielder who will represent New York in the All-Star game that the Yankees had asked for him to back up Mickey Mantle before being dealt to the team across the river. And on this date in 1968, the Atlanta Braves purchased Baltimore Orioles right-hander reliever Stu Miller, who is best remembered for committing a balk in the 1961 Major League Baseball All-Star game when a gust of wind Twins pushed him off the mound at Candlestick Park. The 40-year-old Massachusetts native will throw only 1 2/3 innings in 2 appearances for Atlanta before retiring from baseball, having compiled a 105-103 record and 153 saves during his 16 major league years with the Braves, Cardinals, Giants, and Phillies. And that's your Braves Country Radio on this date in baseball history. Welcome back to Braves Country Radio's Braves Country Baseball. Brian De La Cruz will lead us off. He'll be followed by Kid Kelnick and Nick Allen. 7, 8, 9 hitters in here in the order. First pitch on the way from Dustin May is a sweeper right there for a strike. It's 0-1. So he's back out there. He'll be at 70 pitches after this next toss. I would think this is his last inning, but you never know. The 0-1. Outside wide, 1-1. Out-of-town scoreboard looks like this. Earlier today, the Mets lose to the Marlins 4-2. Rays 7-0 over the Pirates. 1-1. Swing, rifles that foul down the line. Out of play into the upper deck. 1-2. Tigers lead the Mariners 3-0 in the 7th. 1-2. Down and away, 2-2. Padres 4-0 over the Guardians. They're heading to the 7th. Cubs 6-4 over the Athletics. 2-2. High and inside. Full count. Giants dropped the Astros 3-1. Angels 9-7 over the Cardinals. Twins 8-3 over the White Sox, and the Brewers blanked the Royals 5-0. Nats dropped to 1-4 on the year. They lose to the Blue Jays 3-2. Inside ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. Mosey on down. Thank you for the donation there, James. Kid Kelnick, the batter. Diamondbacks torpedoed the Yankees 7-5. And the Rangers blinked the Reds 1-0. A gem by Nathan Eovaldi. Complete game shutout. You don't see a lot of those anymore, especially from an aging veteran, and especially this early in the season. Runner at first, nobody out. The 0-1. Should he go around? They're going to check down the line. Third base umpire, Dan Bellino, evens up the count. It's 1-1. Looked like it hit the zone. The 1-1 brings it. Sweeper right there on the edge, 1-2. 1-2 count. Dustin May, his 78th pitch. He's going to turn around and flip it over to first. Not to be confused with second. Kelnick 0-for-1 with the ground out. May comes set. Kicks the leg, pushes it up there. 95, blows it right by him. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Right up there in his kitchen. One away. One down. We were talking about this in the pregame, but Alex Verdugo, when he's ready to come to the team, as the first pitch on the way to Allen is down and in Sinker for a strike. It's 0-1. Be interesting to see what way they go now. I would think Fairchild is the one that they would kick to the curb, but he would definitely cut into Kid Kelnick's playing time. The 0-1 turns it around, flips it. Keep De La Cruz close by. And when Acuna comes, hopefully by May, there was a report on him this morning. I'll get into that here in a second. The 0-1, 93 sinker, 0-2. He is yet to be approved to do any kind of field work, groundwork, any kind of outfield work, defensive work. Ronald Acuna Jr. He's just taking at bats, and they don't want him doing lateral movement and whatnot. So he may not be there by the beginning of May like we've all been hoping. The 0-2, swing, hits it hard over to short. Betts has it. It's going to be an easy 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. That'll end the inning. We go to the fifth, clinging to a one-run lead. Sale goes back out there and sees if he can shut him down again.
So my girlfriend just left with her family on a vacation, which means we're stuck home alone. And I think you know what that means. Guess who's not leaving the house for a whole week? Yeah, not a chance. It is lockdown mode. Now, I should make it clear that she wants me to leave the house, okay? Before she left, she literally said to me, you should go out, call some of your friends, go out, have a good time, go get a drink, maybe make some new friends, have a conversation. You know what's better than 5 minutes of conversation? 7 days of silence with the dogs. There could be a nuclear war in the next few days. You know where you can find us? And Frank in it in the basement. Couple of milk bones, a little whiskey. We'll make it out just fine. There's literally no reason to leave the house. All right, I mean, we have treats, we have beer, we have water, we have snacks. We have the tubs that we fill with water. We call them pools, right? You should really socialize. Socializing's good. Socializing sucks. It's terrible. Have you met humans nowadays? For the next week, well, I'm on dogcation at home, okay? Life's going to be good. We're going to have some shenanigans. We're going to have some fun. Yeah, we're going to take some naps too, Liv. That's it. That's all I need. You guys are my only friends.
In mid-September, the Reds opened a 4.5-game lead over the Giants and Dodgers. With Frank Robinson leading the way, it sometimes seemed the Reds just couldn't lose.
When the game was on the line, he'd steal you that base. He would hit that home run. I think because we played in the Midwest, he never got his due.
As the most unheralded of the National League's new stars, Robinson finally took center stage in 1961 as he led the Reds to the pennant, capturing the MVP.
Did I have something to prove? Yes.
There it goes, a bullet-like drive over the left field screen for Robbie's 34th home run of the season.
I've been in the shadows of Mays, Clemente, Aaron, those guys, and it's not a bad shadow to be in, but still you want to be out and see the sunlight yourself once in a while. And winning the pennant and winning the MVP award kind of said, hey, Frank Robinson is a pretty good ball player himself.
Welcome back to Braves Country Radio. Yeah, I saw your comment about the Sean Murphy home run today. I actually watched quite a bit of that game. It was on early. 4 o'clock, I think, was the first pitch. First pitch on the way from Chris Sale is a strike to Miguel Rojas to start the fifth. It's 0-1. I would think they're at least going to want him. The 0-1 swung on, foul back. 0-2. 0-2 count. My guess would be best case scenario he would be back by this weekend against the Marlins, but typically it sounded like he was going to be there for a full week. So maybe as the 0-2 misses outside 1-2, there's a possibility that you could end up having him there in the minors going into the weekend and then be ready for the Philly series on Tuesday. 1-2's pounded foul towards the third base dugout. The LA Dodgers. Chris Sale at 69 pitches. Insert joke there. The 1-2 swing and a miss, strike three. Got him. One away. He gets that slider, and you get 2 strikes on a right-handed hitter. It's hard for them to lay off of that because it's like It's almost like a changeup that keeps drifting out away from you with two-seam action. One down, and Andy Paez, the batter, standing on deck would be Taylor. First pitch, 93, misses high. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. Slaps the side of the zone up top. 1-1. The 1-1. Swing, pops it up. Should be a can of corn, it is. Ozzie sits underneath it, grabs it with his glove. 2 down. Two down. Chris Taylor, the number 9 hitter, comes to the plate. First pitch on the way, down and in, slider, 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks, rocks, and fires, swing and a miss, 1-1. 1-1 count. Pitch from Sales, swung on and rifled foul. Back out of play over the first base dugout. 1-2. Sale at 76 pitches. So in theory, he'd be good to go for inning number 6. And I think the Braves would like to see him face at least Shohei Ohtani and get through, in a perfect world, maybe even go into the 7th. The 1-2. Swing, rips it foul. Do it again. The 1-2. Chris Sale sitting on 4 strikeouts for the night. Here's the pitch. Did he go around? Swing and a miss, strike 3. He went around. That'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back in a flash. The conductor doing his thing here on a Tuesday night in Braves country. All aboard. Whoa, whoa. Chicka, 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 chicka. Whoa, whoa.
Y'all ever see those videos in New York City in like 1912 and everyone's bustling, hurrying around on the street? And I think, damn, they were stressed back then too, man. And now look, they're all gone. And I know that's depressing to think about, but it reminds me of a quote. Every 100 years, there's all new people, baby. Every 100 years, all new people. The people we're on Earth with right now, this is our crew, okay? In the same way you can't pick your family, but you got to get along with them. We can't pick the people we're on Earth with, but we got to get along, man. In the whole grand scheme of the universe, all the time, all the space, the people on Earth right now, this is a tiny little group, man, and we get to be a part of it, man. Man, be kind to your neighbor, man. This is what it's all about.
Sandberg hitting 327 now. The pitch. There it goes. Way back. It might be. It could be.
If there was a team that could understand what Robinson was feeling, it was the Detroit Tigers, and they're hitting star Norm Cash. Despite playing in the shadow of the M&M boys, Cash would register a league-leading .361 batting average in '61.
Mantle and Maris in New York, there's a big difference in New York than Detroit, and they got a lot of publicity. Of course, we thought Norm Cash was at that time the best player in the American League. That year that he had was one of the great years that I've ever seen any player have.
Detroit rolled into Yankee Stadium Labor Day weekend, a game and a half behind New York. If Cash and Detroit wanted to grab the spotlight from Mantle and Maris, now was the time.
Again, it's the ever-dangerous Al Kaline giving the ball a tremendous ride.
The Tigers were good, but not good enough. Mantle and Maris each had a 2-home-run game as New York swept Detroit.
And the ball is going, number 53.
your home for the classic call, Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike by Michael Harris. It's 0-1. Banda, Joe Banda, the new left-hander, the 0-1. So that'll be it for Dustin May. May real quick. Went 5 innings. Yep, the 1-1 swung on, chops it over towards first. Covering the bag is Banda. He'll catch the ball with his light blue glove, step on the bag. 1 down. Dustin May went 5 innings, 1 hit allowed, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. One down. Austin Riley, your batter. First pitch on the way is in the dirt, almost gets him in the foot. It's 1-0. Austin Riley batting 100 on the year. You kind of got to let that ball hit your foot, man. It hit the ground first. You got to kick your toozy out there and head to first. The 1-0 right there, first strike. 1-1. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch in the dirt. Another one came close to his foot. 2-1. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing. Still just here in the top of the 6th, the 2-1 pitch. Swing, fouls it, fists it over the first base dugout. 2-2. The 2-2 from Banda. The very deep bullpen of the Dodgers. The 2-2 high and out of the zone. That goes to the backstop. 3-2. I don't know if y'all have seen any of the highlights of the A's and the Rays home games early this year, but both stadiums, and granted they're smaller stadiums, but they are packed. The 3-2 swing, that ball's ripped down the third base line, just foul. That would have been extra bases for Riley. Full count. Banda brings it. Chases that one well out of the zone. Strike 3, 2 away. Braves have got to get some runs going. You can't expect to shut the Dodgers out at home. 2 down, and Matt Olson will face Banda, lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way. Up top for a strike, slider. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Rocks and fires. Down and away. 1-1. 1-1 count. Pitch from Banda, swung on and pops it up, high and out of play. 1-2. Braves once again, just 1 hit tonight. They did score the unearned run, but that hit was way back in the 2nd inning. The 1-2, swing, slaps it foul. Do it again. After facing the Padres and the Dodgers, when we get home against the Marlins, this is going to feel like a cakewalk with the pitching we've seen. Not that the Marlins have a terrible pitching staff, but we have some. The 1-2 slices it foul, doinks it into the third base dugout. Month of April, we've got some pitching that we can definitely tattoo. The road trip that goes from Tampa Bay to Toronto. The 1-2. Swing! That ball's lifted into center field, going back on the track. It's going to bang off the wall. Here comes Matt Olson flying around, and he will be safe at second base, and your Atlanta Braves finally get back on the hit parade. He once again just missed a home run. That wind is howling out there, but it didn't do him any justice and get him over the wall. Probably about halfway up the center field wall. That'll bring Marcell Ozuna to the plate. Lefty-righty matchup, runner at second. First pitch on the way. Down and in to Marcell. For a ball, it's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. Swing. Fouls it back. 1-1. The 1-1. Swung on and chops it foul in between home and third. Olson stands at second. He'll be going at the crack of the bat. The 1-2 from Banda. Kicks and fires. Swing. That ball's roasted down the third base line. Ozuna 1 for 1, a single, a walk. He scored off the error by Mookie Betts. The 1-2. Good Lord. We'll take the call, but that ball was right there at the knees. Banda was heading towards the dugout. He was already starting to fire him up a cigar. Phil Cousy, you're just not good at this thing called umpiring. Braves finally get one to go their way. The 2-2 pitch. Up top misses. 3-2. So full count to Ozuna. Standing on deck would be Ozzie Albies. He'd be from the right side unless the Dodgers go to the pen. They've got a very deep pen. Full count. Swung on. Chops that back foul. We'll do it again. Full count from Banda. This will be his 24th pitch of the inning, by the way. Infield is back and to the left. The payoff pitch. Outside wide, ball 4, and he'll head on down to first. So the Big Zoo heads to first. 2 outs. Here comes Cavalry out of the dugout. Dodgers pitching coach Pryor heading out there to talk to him. Mark Pryor, former big league star. He's probably going over strategy with Ozzie Albies coming to the plate. You got the left-handed bat of Drake on deck, but I don't think Banda can really sit there and pitch around Ozzie per se, because this will be his 25th pitch of the inning. And though their pen's well rested, eventually a reliever only has so many bullets in the gun. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Chase a slider down around his shoes. If that, it's 0-1. The 0-1. Rocks and fires in the dirt. Ozzie gets out of the way. Evens up the count at 1-1. 1-1 count. Kike's playing almost dead center between home and first. Second and first. The 1-1. Called strike at the top of the zone. 1-2. The 1-2. Swing, fouls it back. 96-mile-an-hour fastball up top. Do it again. You know you have an embarrassment of riches in your bullpen when Joe Bandit comes in the 6th inning. The 1-2. Kicks and fires. Swung on, chops it over towards short. And Mookie's got it. He'll flip an easy toss to Edman. That'll end the inning. Braves once again can't get him across. Runners in scoring position. I think these guys get paid to do something about that. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Without telling me your age, tell me something that someone a lot younger than you just wouldn't understand.
In elementary school, we used to play a word game right there on the chalkboard. If we couldn't guess the word right, they hung a man.
5 things couples over 40 do. They hit skip recap on a show and then pause it 36 times throughout that show to catch each other up because they forgot things. When one of them gets up to walk out of the room, the other one has to ask, "Where are you going?" Bonus points if you can remember why you got up and where you are going. Marriage is a never-ending competition, and if you don't agree, then you've never driven, cooked, or played a board game with another human being. They take more time asking each other what they want for dinner than actually eating dinner. I call it dinner chicken, when they go back and forth suggesting things until one of them eventually caves and says, "Screw it, let's just get takeout." And the last one, they talk passive-aggressive through their pets. I'll give you an example. "When is mommy starting dinner? Daddy is really hungry." Or, "I guess Daddy doesn't smell that garbage that Mommy's asked him 5 times already to take out."
The pennant race was over, but the battle between Ruth, Maris, and Mantle was in full swing.
The big Yankee news is Maris 56, Mantle 53.
And then, suddenly in late September, Mantle pulled out of the race. An infection in his hip had made it impossible for him to play. Yet another injury had prevented Mickey from reaching what had seemed to many to be his destiny.
As a result of Mickey having to drop out of that home run race, Roger was on his own. Roger was all by himself.
If Ruth was going to be dethroned, it was not going to be by the fair-haired prince and lifelong Yankee. Instead, it would be the other guy.
Join the Country Club today. Help support Braves Country Radio. Join the Country Club today. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Chris Sale versus Ohtani. Once again, first pitch on the way. Strike at the knees. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Rocks and fires. Chops it off the plate. 0-2. Same two teams back at it tomorrow night. Same bat channel, different bat time. It'll be 8:38 Eastern. We'll come on the air about 8 o'clock. The 0-2 swung on and lifted into right field, and that's down for a base hit. Shohei Ohtani just laces one into right field. Does a little weird sachet. The Dodgers have the tying run at first. Didn't hit it hard, just got the bat out in front of it and roped it over the defense. Mookie Betts comes to the plate. First pitch on the way, 94 inside, nowhere near the zone. It's 1-0. Sale, 82 pitches in. Gotta figure they're trying to get him through this 6th inning. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. Swing, that ball's pelted down the line, but foul. Deep down the left field line, goes into the seats. Braves 1, Dodgers nothing, bottom of the 6th. The 1-1. Swing, that ball's blasted. Deep into right field. And just over the wall, and the Dodgers have taken a 1-run lead. Hung that slider one too many times, and a 2-run shot makes it 2-1 Dodgers here in the 6th. Just got over the wall. Not a hard hit ball, but got underneath it. Hanging slider just got way too much of the plate. That could be fatigue there by Sale. He's pitched a great game. Eventually, you go to the third time through the lineup with this team, it's going to be a problem. First pitch on the way to Edmonds, nowhere near the zone. It's 1-0. Lefty-righty matchup. Switch hitting Edmund, the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 94 up top. 1-1. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swing. That ball's ripped into center field. Down for a base hit. Harris cuts it off. And Chris Sale has started the 6th inning, giving up 3 consecutive hits. Edmund does the sachet at first. Sale just at 87 pitches, but here comes Snicker. Yeah, that's probably a day late and $1 short anyways. He was definitely showing fatigue, and he probably wasn't prepared, didn't have anybody warmed up in the pen. We'll head to break. When we come back, Braves trail by 1. We're here in the 6th inning. Welcome back. Pierce Johnson, your pitcher. Righty-righty matchup. Teoscar Hernandez, the batter. Run at first, nobody out. Pierce flips the ball over to first base at the beginning. Runner goes. Pitch on the way, down and away. No chance at that one. And Baldwin sails it into the outfield. I mean, they're just beating themselves at this point. Edman will get the stolen base. Baldwin, it was a bad throw coming off of a difficult pitch. Curveball in the dirt. Actually might have been his fastball that just went in the dirt. So it's a bad pitch, and Baldwin still tried to throw the runner out. He had no chance of getting him. That's something he's just going to have to learn to stick it in his pocket. That's just a rookie mistake right there. Infield now in on the grass. First pitch on the way. After that is sawed off foul. It's 1-1. Sailed it well into the outfield. Ozzie Albies had no chance of getting that. He threw it probably a good 5 to 7 feet over his head. The 1-1. Braves trail by 1. Here's the pitch. 94 outside wide. 2-1. Braves offense hasn't done anything. That's really the case. I know folks might get mad at this and that part of the game, but the fact they haven't scored has resulted in this. The 2-1 swing, fouls it back, 2-2. Against a guy who hasn't pitched in 2 years, and you get one hit, one run that's unearned in 5 innings. You're asking Sale and Company to do the impossible. The 2-2 swings, slices that foul back out of play. On deck is Smith. Kike Hernandez in the hole. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Check swing foul. Down the line. We'll do it again. The 2-2. Pops it back foul once again. Braves trail 2-1. Runner at third. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout by Pierce Johnson. One away. You're looking at what the Braves could bring into the bullpen. Let's say we get through this relatively unscathed and are still in the ball game. Guys who should be well rested and ready to roll out of that bullpen. First pitch on the way to Smith is a swing and a miss, strike 4-seam fastball. It's 0-1. You're looking at Dylan Lee, Aaron Bummer. We've already got Pierce Johnson in. And, of course, Iglesias to try to win it at the end. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Cutter, 0-2. So an 0-2 count. They brought up Zach Thompson after DFAing Jesse Chavez, but I think he'd be more in a mop-up role one way or the other. And you also have Daysbel Hernandez from the right side. The 0-2. Sliced right through the hole. Diving attempt by Ozzie Albies, but that ball was sharply hit and underneath his glove. And the infield defense being drawn in will lead to another run. 3-1 Dodgers. I get what the analytics tell you, but I still feel like when you're in the middle of the lineup and you're facing a lineup like the Dodgers, I think you're better off doing the halfway than completely coming in. First pitch on the way to Kike Hernandez is a swing and a miss. It's 0-1. You're just asking for the absolute impossible for a guy to go basically strike out 3 Dodger batters in a row. The 0-1 down and away, 1-1. You go halfway, you give yourself a puncher's chance. And if it's not in the cards, then you can at least knock that ball down and hopefully get the out at first. The 1-1, swing and a miss. 1-2. 1-2 count. He went with that same pitch again. I don't know. Once you've snuck it by him 2 times, a cutter like that, you kind of need to go to something different. And he timed it up and just poked it in between second and first. The 1-2 rattles it foul. We'll do it again. But at some point, this offense has got to go. I mean, come on. 2 runs shouldn't feel like an insurmountable lead when you still have 3 more at bats. 1-2. Kicks and fires. Fouls it straight back. Dodgers 3, Braves 1. The 1-2. Curveball misses well out of the zone, 2-2. Same 2 teams back at it tomorrow at 8:38 first pitch. The 2-2 in the dirt. Runner goes. Easily will be safe. Curveball in the dirt that Baldwin was trying to backhand. He wouldn't have had a chance of getting him anyways. Smith had a pretty good lead on that one. Full count. Here's the pitch. Fastball caught looking, strike 3. 94 right down the pipe, 2 away. Two down, and Pierce Johnson trying to put this fire out will now face Miguel Rojas. Rojas 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch, swing, sawed off foul. 0-1. The 0-1, fastball, right there at the knees, 0-2. Pierce Johnson, 1 strike away from getting out of this jam. The 0-2 count. Here's the pitch. Swing! Fouls it back out of play. Runner heads down to third, but he'll trot right back. Dodgers 3, Braves 1, bottom of the 6th. The 0-2. PJ sets and delivers. Curveball in the dirt, good block by Baldwin. His curveball is just hitting nothing but dirt on the outer edge. Really heading more towards the left-hand batter's box. You're just not going to get anyone to swing at that. Might as well roll it up there like a bowling ball. 1-2 count. See if he can get him here. Here's the pitch. 95. Fouls it back. We'll do it again. Infield is back into the left. Outfield straight away. Normal depth. The 1-2. Curveball nowhere near the zone. 2-2. 2-2 count. Dodgers 3, Braves 1. The pitch. Swing, chops it over towards third. Riley's got it. Fires across the diamond. That'll mercifully end the inning. Dodgers put 3 on the board. We'll try to grab the bat, see if we got some life left in this. The 6, 7, 8 guys, Baldwin, De La Cruz, and Kelnick when we return.
What is something that's completely legal that should be illegal?
Using your speakerphone in public. I barely want to listen to my own phone conversations, let alone yours in a Walmart.
Take your seats, because class is in session. Your teacher today is Professor Greg Maddox. He's the only pitcher in history to record more than 300 wins, more than 3,000 strikeouts, and fewer than 1,000 walks. A streak of 17 straight seasons in which he recorded 15 or more wins, the longest in MLB history. He started 25 games in 1994. 24 of those were quality starts. Also that season, he only allowed 4 home runs and 202 innings pitched. And if you think he pitched to round hitters, you're wrong. That season, he only walked 31 batters. One last 1994 stat for the road. His batting average that season, .222, was higher than his ERA, 1.56. In June and July of 1995, he threw 51 consecutive innings without issuing a walk. He once threw a complete game with 78 pitches. He won 18 Gold Gloves, which is the record for any position. And I saved the best for last. In 1995 to 2003, he faced 8,026 batters and only had 8,006 pitches called a ball.
This will really be mad that you don't hate yourself. Sorry, Pookie, that is your sport.
Hey, I'm sorry to say this, y'all, but as soon as the lips don't match the words on a Netflix show, I'm turning it off.
He's not supposed to be the one to do this. Nobody should really do this. Oh, please don't do it. Or couldn't it be somebody else? Or basically, couldn't we just let Babe Ruth have that record?
There's a drive to deep right, and there's number 57, Roger Maris.
It amazed me that there was so many people around the country that didn't want to see Roger break that record.
Imagine Yankee fans going to Yankee Stadium and booing Roger Maris, who had 55 home runs.
People are booing you and screaming at you, and that makes it pretty tough on a man.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Drake Baldwin takes the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fire. Vesia, the left-hander, gives him a pop it up. Down the right field line side. He'll make the catch. Hernandez tumbles into the stands. Holds on to it for out number 1. Why wouldn't he hold on to it? It's just the way this week has gone. Any other time that he drops the ball or goes about a foot to the left and he can never get to it. 1 down. De La Cruz, the batter, first pitch on the way. Slider right there at the knees. It's 0-1. Bryce Elder on the mound tomorrow night versus Blake Snell. Stranger things have happened, but you'd like to get this win tonight. The 0-1. Swing. Rattles it foul and out of play 0-2. Two-strike pitch to De La Cruz. Caught looking, strike 3. Never got the bat going. 2 away. 2 down. I mean, what we saw from De La Cruz in the spring, he was swinging the bat well, but I'm starting to think he was just feasting on minor league pitching. He has not put together a good at bat yet this year. Eli White will be the batter. He's in for Kid Kelnick. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Fairchild, Arcia, and Tromp are still on your bench. Fairchild bats from the right side, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. A little surprised we didn't see him grab a bat. No 2 count. They might be waiting to use him later in the game, but no time like the present. The 0-2 to the book of Eli. You go around. He did not. 1-2. Braves trail 3-1. Looks like he held up. It kind of in the eye of the beholder there. That's a 50-50 call. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Didn't matter. Strike 3. Eli good down on strikes again. That'll end the inning. We'll head to the 7th inning stretch, y'all. Get up and stretch, Braves country. We need some good luck.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. We out to the ball game. Hey, we out to the night. Find me something up and crack jack. I don't care if I have to get back on the street. Root for the
Welcome back. Dylan Lee, the pitcher, here in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch on the way to Paez is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1, lefty-righty, change up at the knees, 0-2. 0-2 count. Braves trail by 2, bottom of the 7th. Pitch on the way, swung on, foul back. You're just joining us. Chris Sale had a very good outing, and then they left him in one inning too long, and I won't blame this one on Snicker. He just ran out of gas and gave up a bloop and a blast that barely cleared the fence, and that's pretty much the difference in the game. The 0-2. Fouls it back, we'll do it again. It was such a quick turnaround. I don't think they had time to get the bullpen ready, though you would have thought they would have had someone warming up and good to go. He ends up giving up another base runner. It's the 0-2, down and in, 1-2. And that's your score. The 1-2 in the dirt. They do that a lot with Sale. They did it last year, and they dance through raindrops sometimes, but they'll leave him in and not really have an option in the bullpen ready to roll, thinking he's going to get out of the next inning. The 2-2, swing, rifles it foul, we'll do it again. All in all, Chris Sale charged with 3 earned runs. It's really not accurate. There's an error, throwing error that caused the last run. Two-two's fouled away, but it's up to the home score. So they may change that after the game, but usually they don't. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. No, just got a piece of it, rolls to the backstop. Thought he missed it all the way, but just got a stitch of it to stay alive. I would tend to think it's Daysbel Hernandez in the 8th inning. And then kind of go from there. The 2-2 pops it up. High down the line. Out of play. If you play this out, it's Paez, Taylor, and Ohtani due up. So the next inning, if you can go 1-2-3, which is a big if, you would want a right-hander coming in to face Betts and company. 4-seam fastballs rattled back foul. Do it again. This will be the 12th pitch of this at bat. The 2-2, swing, lifts it high into right field, drifting back, making the catch a little bit before the warning track is the Book of Eli. Went away. Same two teams back at it tomorrow night. Mercifully, it's the end of this long road trip, and it's a little earlier start. 8:38 first pitch. We'll come on the air about 8 o'clock. It's Bryce Elder versus, as of right now, they've got Blake Snell dialed up. There was a rumor coming out of Dodgerland that they might be pushing Snell back, but we'll just have to see what they decide to go with. First pitch on the way is no. Pops out of the glove of Baldwin. It's 1-0. Lefty-righty matchup. The 1-0. Fouls it back, 1-1. Shohei Ohtani looms on deck. The 1-1 in the dirt. Did he go around? He said he did. 1-2. Bug says we need a new hitting coach. We just hired a new hitting coach. The 1-2. Swing, rips it over to third. Riley off his back foot, fires across the diamond. An absolute dime over to Olsen. What a play by Austin Riley. Wow. Backhanded it, heading towards the dugout. Brooks Robinson style. Boy, oh boy.
my boy, Blue! Blue, you're my boy!
I thought Taylor might beat that out. He still has pretty good wheels. First pitch on the way to Shohei Ohtani. Swung on, banged on the ground. Now Ozzy's got to fire one across the diamond. He'll beat out Ohtani by a half step. Great defensive play by Ozzy. Maybe some of this will wake him up. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
I'm the Wiz, I'm the Wiz, I'm the Wiz. I'm the Wiz and nobody beats me.
I'm so tired of logging into things. I'm so tired of it. I can't believe I'm going to have to log into things for the rest of my life. Just let me see my things. My things are right there. Just be logged in. Could we just be logged in?
Tell me you love America without telling me you love America. I was supposed to fly back to the UK yesterday. I said, no thank you, mate. So I took my suitcase and I've just landed in South Carolina. I don't want to go home. I'll miss the food too much. I'll miss the culture too much. I'll miss the country too much. So I said, absolutely not, mate. Financially, probably not the best idea. Let's go.
They had reporters coming from Japan and Europe and Australia, hundreds and hundreds of reporters asking the same question to him, which was, are you going to break Babe Ruth's record?
All your time before the ball game is spent with the photographers, and after the ball game it's the writers, and before the game it's the writers.
Some days I was there 3-4 hours after a ball game, just sitting there with interviews.
I don't think there's ever been a player in the history of sports who's had as much pressure over the length of time that Roger did.
He's getting hate messages, people calling his hotel room. He's losing his hair.
On September 20th, the Yankees played the Orioles in their 154th game. Maris had 58 homers, needing to hit 2 that night to tie the Babe and do it in the length of the season that Ruth had played.
On the 154th ball game, he and I went to the ballpark together, and he was a nervous wreck.
What's up, Braves Country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See you on the ballpark.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way to Nick Allen from Treenan, the right-handed pitcher out of the pen. Down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. You'll have Allen and then the top of the order due up. The 1-0. Misses. 2-0. So 2-0 count. Allen 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play. Grounded out his first time up. Braves 1, Dodgers 3. The 2-0 to Allen. Swing, rattles it foul. Out of play. 2-1. The 2-1. Swing, saws it off foul. Two. Swung on and lifted into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. How about that? Just in the nick of time, Nick Allen dumps one into center field. Softly hit ball, but hit them where they ain't, baby. I want to know, can we get some of these torpedo bats everybody's talking about? I hope to heck they're working on them in Atlanta. Michael Harris II will come to the plate. First pitch on the way is a fastball right down the pipe. It's 0-1. Real quick on your out-of-town scoreboard, Cubs beat the A's 7-4. Rangers 1-0 over the Reds. Marlins beat the Mets 4-2. Padres blanked the Guardians 7-0. The 0-1 swung on and lifted down the line. Foul and out of play. It's 0-2. Tigers 4-1 over the Mariners. Logan Gilbert gets the loss. Mize with the win. Rays blanked the Pirates 7-0. D-backs 7-5 over the Yankees. It's a pretty entertaining game. I was watching that before this one. The 0-2 inside, 97 miles an hour, 1-2. Runner on first, nobody out. Braves trail 3-1. Tying run standing at home plate. And Michael Harris, he went yard last night. Blue Jays 5-3 over the Nats. All these are finals. Twins beat the White Sox 8-3. 1-2. Swing. Lifts it high into right field. Going back. Drifting over. Making the catch is Hernandez. One away. One down, and Austin Riley will come to the plate. Angels 9-7 over the Cardinals. Giants 3-1 over the Astros. And that's your out-of-town scoreboard. We're the only game still going. First pitch on the way to Austin Riley is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Chases a sweeper well out of the zone. I mean, that thing was in a different area code, 1-1. Riley is definitely, he is squeezing that bat handle down to sawdust at this point. Trying to get off the schneid. Runner goes. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. And Little Nicky steals second base. We got a runner in scoring position. Got a pretty good jump. They were kind of ignoring him over there. He took off. The 1-2. Swing, fouls it back. We'll do it again. Got to expect they're going to go back to that curveball because he chased it well out of the zone. In fact, I'm surprised he didn't get it there. Standing on deck, Matt Olson. He's batting 176 on the year. Ozuna and Allen are the only two over 200. The 1-2. Yep. Chase the curveball. Strike three. If I know that, why don't they know that? That's what you're thinking. So, man. You almost have to sit there and look for it and be ready to poke it down the line. 2 down, and Matt Olson, the batter, he can still tie it with one swing. First pitch on the way. Inside, sweeper for a strike. It's 0-1. Matt Olson 1 for 3. And he's hit a couple of balls hard this week. A couple of them just missed going yard. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. Chase 96 off the edge. 0-2. 0-2 count. Set up outside. Pitch high and out of the zone. One-two to Olson. If he can reach, Marcell Ozuna stands on deck. I'd love Ozuna to come up with a runner on. The 1-2. Swing, chops it foul. 1-2 once again. Dodgers 3, Braves 1. Pitch on the way. Swing, slices that back foul. 1-2. Kicks and fires. Swing, chops it foul. Nick Allen standing at second. Even to cut this lead in half would be nice. The 1-2. Pops it back, foul. One-two count. Trinan looks in, his 22nd pitch of the inning. Brings it. This is high, 2-2. Olsen trying to find any way to get aboard. Even if he can't hit one out, make him face Ozuna. The 2-2. Swing, rolls it over to second. That's going to be an easy play. Edman over to Hernandez, and that'll end the inning. Allen did a great job of getting on and getting over. We couldn't get him in. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
You want a girl with boobs? I got you. You want a girl with ass? I also got you. You want a girl with a flat stomach? You want a girl with boobs?
You're a bad-mannered, bad-tempered, outrageous female. But I've discovered I cannot live without you. It's a shameful confession for a sane man to make.
2 outs with men at first and second. Chipper Jones is due to hit. Sort of busy in the Dodger bullpen as Bobby Cox watches his club trying to pull this one out in the bottom of the ninth. The game is tied 1-1.
Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, is coming out.
And the Dodger right-hander will inherit a 2-0 count. And a high drive hit deep to right. Mondesi all the way back, and this game is over. Chipper Jones on the first pitch from Cienez hits it out. A 3-run home run, and the Braves beat the Dodgers 4-1.
He came to me and told me, he said he just couldn't play tonight.
Houck eventually convinced Maris to play, and he drew closer to Ruth in the third inning.
There's one. It is going. It is going. It is gone. Number 59.
In the seventh inning, he hit a towering drive into the Baltimore night, but the ball and Maris would fall short. He hadn't beaten Ruth's pace, but he still could have the record as well as the asterisk that came with it.
There are still 8 Yankee games to be played in the expanded schedule, but the baseball commissioner says Ruth's record must be broken during a schedule that matches the one in the year he made his mark.
On September 26th, Maris hit his 60th home run.
And it is number 60. How about that?
He was now 1 home run away from baseball immortality.
Welcome back. It will be Daysbel Hernandez coming out of the pen. First pitch on the way to Mookie Betts. 96 misses high. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Swung on and lifted into right field. Coming over, making the catch is Eli White. Went away. The ninth inning, the Braves will have Marcell Ozuna, Ozzie Albies, Drake Baldwin due up. If anybody gets on, De La Cruz and Eli White, you could pinch hit because you do have Stuart Fairchild, but I don't know what they would ask of him. He just arrived today. First pitch on the way. Edman tries to drop down a bunt. He'll get thrown out by Daysbel Hernandez with ease. 1-3 on the putout, 2 down. Two away. If you're wondering what Fairchild what he's about. Stuart Fairchild is the first pitch on the waves right there. First strike, it's 0-1. He's 29 years old, so he's been around for a while. Went to college at Wake Forest. Is he 0-1, swing and miss? 0-2. Drafted by the Reds in the second round back in 2017. Before his career, has batted just .224. He's not a home run hitter. He's a total of 18 home runs in the equivalent of just over a year of Major League service. The 0-2, high chopper, charging. Allen's got it, fires it over to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Well, we'll head to the ninth, and maybe we got some magic in those bats somewhere. Braves trail by 2, middle of the order, coming to the plate.
Sometimes I think, and then I forget.
Watching Pedro Martinez got me to thinking. I got to witness one of the greatest, most dominating stretches for a pitcher in Major League history. In 1997, not only did he become the only Expo ever to win a Cy Young Award, he also led the league in half a dozen pitching categories. Also that season, he became the first pitcher since Walter Johnson to reach 300 strikeouts with an ERA under 2. Just 2 years later, he won the pitching Triple Crown, finishing with a 23-4 record, a 2.07 ERA, and 313 strikeouts. He became the only 20th century pitcher to notch 300 strikeouts in a season without being 6 feet tall. His 1.74 ERA in 2000 was the lowest in the American League since 1978. Even more impressive was the fact that the next closest pitcher in the American League was more than double his ERA. His 118-36 record from 1997 to 2003 almost doesn't seem real, considering this is at the height of the steroid era. I'm fully convinced those 7 years are the best in MLB history, considering the time frame, the hitter-friendly park he pitched in. Do you think another pitcher had a more dominant stretch?
The countdown continued throughout the last games of the season. Game 159, 160, 161, they all passed. And still Roger Maris did not connect for that big. The tension built right up to the last game of the season. This was Maris' last chance.
October 1st, 1961, game number 162.
I imagine after all this is over, somebody may write a story about the month-long, day in, day out, excruciating pressure.
To just think back of that day now, I tell you, I was so mentally tired and wore.
In the 4th inning, he walked into the batter's box against Red Sox rookie Tracy Stallard.
Just standing up, waiting to see if Maris is going to hit number 61.
Now, all of us are on the threshold of the greatest performance in baseball history.
Here's the windup. Fastball hit deep to right. This could be it. Way back there. Holy cow.
Welcome back. Tanner Scott will come on to try to close the game out. He gave up the home run to Michael Harris last night, so there is hope on that front. Marcell Ozuna, the batter, first pitch on the way, down below the knees for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Infield is back and to the left. The pitch swung on and dribbled over towards short. Betts has plenty of time to flip it over to first. Ozuna easy out. 6-3 put out. 1 down. I can't wait till we are in September and laughing about this start. Now we may all be in an insane asylum by then, but we will be laughing. First pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies is up top, misses high. Lefty-righty matchup. Need a bloop and a blast. The 1-0's in the dirt, 2-0. The 2-0, 95. Missed the plate, but got the call, 2-1. Braves trail by 2. If Ozzie can reach, Baldwin or De La Cruz would be the tying run. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Man, he went fishing for that. 2-2. That was down around his shoelaces. Maybe under the soles of his shoes. I think this team is exhausted. Is the 2-2. Swung on and hit over towards first. An atom ball. The only place you could have hit it on the right side of the infield and get out, Ozzie did just that. 2 away. Hernandez leaps to his feet and steps on the bag. I mean, he hits it to the right just a little bit, left just a little bit. Ozzie's standing on first. We got the tying run at the plate. Good play by Kike Hernandez, but first pitch on the way to Drake Baldwin. Whoa, 95 blew it right by him. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Baldwin 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball kicks away. 1-1. Baldwin's job just to get on base and hope De La Cruz can maybe slam it out of the building. Braves down to their final out. The 1-1. Swing, chops it over to first, and that's going to end the game. Kike Hernandez steps on first, and the Dodgers win again, and the Braves have scored 2 runs in the last 5 games. Chris Sale pitched a pretty good 5 innings. He went back out there for that 6th and just did not have it. And that Dodger lineup eventually got to him. Braves lose a tough one. I got to be up early for work tomorrow, so I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a great night, Braves country. Atlanta Braves starting off the season 0-6, but it's a long season. We'll be back tomorrow night here on Braves country. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer cooled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey, "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With the smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two." "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball. And now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner.